gun violence is leaving its mark on local communities. Some North Carolina state workers gathered in downtown Raleigh today to protest. The Chamber of Commerce also says they hope to maintain growth for North Carolina by investing back into the communities. Even though gas prices have come down just a little bit to $4.39, it's still a good thing that Wake County is offering free rides in certain parts of the county. Here in Holly Springs, the 4th of July is not over yet. The town kicked off its Independence Day celebration Tuesday in Bass Lake Park. They're calling it a second day for the USA.
4th of July is probably my favorite holiday.
The event has food and live music. Town organizers say around 10,000 people show up every year for the fireworks. And with all of the fun going on, safety is still the #1 concern. That's why police have been prepping for this event for months.
So we always are prepared ahead of time, and we work a lot of scenarios in preparation for large-scale events like this.
With the recent 4th of July shootings in Chicago and Philadelphia, police say they reviewed their plans to help keep people safe.
Anytime we have an incident that occurred similar to the one that happened in Illinois, we look at those incidents, we reevaluate our plans, we see if there's any gaps in those plans, and we try to refill in any gaps that we see in those plans.
The festival went off smoothly for those who decided to come out and celebrate, with plenty of people enjoying the fun.
I don't know, it's just a really great environment to be around. Everybody's so happy and stuff, and their music is awesome.
Reyna Crooms, CBS 17 News. Friday night in downtown Durham at the Carolina Theater. It's packed, as if the pandemic is over.
This is the safest place you can be if you're going to venture out.
Randy McKay, president and CEO of the Carolina Theater, says it's because of the new safety protocols in place around the state and at the theater. Some people feel safer than they did before the pandemic.
Well, of course, none of us want to go back where we were, right? But the world is also a little bit different than it was when the pandemic first hit.
Despite the rise in COVID cases due to the new BA.5 variant, people are still coming out to enjoy the movies and all that Durham has to offer.
Things are great. In fact, we're having one of our best years. I think all of us wanted to get back out and do stuff.
According to the North Carolina Department of Health, the state saw 25,000 new cases this week. Durham County is just one of the counties in central North Carolina that has seen a recent spike in numbers. David Wool, a professor of medicine at the Division of Infectious Diseases at UNC, says the BA.5 variant is the most contagious variant of COVID-19 so far.
If you don't have a mask on and you're indoors around other people who can infect you, there's a decent chance you could become infected just because we're seeing so much infection right now.
The CDC reported 41 counties in North Carolina have higher cases than they did last week, and hospitalizations are up 8%.
But at the end of the day, at some point we have to learn to live with this virus because it's not going away.
Look at it, it's a gorgeous neoclassical revival porticos.
Matthew Brown has an appreciation for history, including this spot, the old Seaboard train station in Raleigh. The historical preservationist and member of Mordecai Community Action Coalition tries to save pieces of Raleigh's history. This station is his latest effort.
This is where all the soldiers headed to World War II left their families, and then a couple years later came back and greeted their families, or came back in a coffin to their grieving widows.
The building survived the 1960s civil rights movement, and today it's home to Logan's Garden Shop. But maybe not for long. Turnbridge Equities, a New York development company, purchased the property for $8.5 million in December. Their plan is to turn this space into a walkable mixed-use community. Losing the building altogether does not sit well with Brown.
Oh, it was just so sad. We've lost so many of our beautiful, interesting buildings that give Raleigh its character. I don't want to live in a city of nothing but generic disposable boxes. I want to live in a place with history and beauty and character.
Because the development company has to get the property rezoned in order to put up a larger building. Brown says whatever the plan, it needs to preserve the old Seaboard station. Raleigh's Planning and Zoning Commission seems to somewhat agree. Last month, they recommended that at least 50% of the building be preserved. In the end, Brown just wants the building saved.